citizens, he tried to greet everyone in a cheerful and confident manner, but few imagined not only the mental numbness, but also the physical exertion and discomfort involved in shaking thousands of hands. As the crowd kept coming through, people jammed together so closely that one of them said the crushing of bonnets and things was fearful. Some citizens acquired souvenirs by plucking buttons from embroidered furniture, and others surreptitiously used scissors to cut little squares from curtains. After these long sessions, when Lincoln took off his white gloves, his secretaries could see that his right hand was swollen, bruised, and sometimes bloody. Occasionally, Lincoln saw something at these receptions that moved him to action. A friend observed this. The President had been standing for some time, bowing his acknowledgments to the thronging multitude, when his eye fell upon a couple who had entered unobserved, a wounded soldier and his plainly dressed mother. He made his way to where they stood, and taking each of them by the hand with a delicacy and cordiality that brought tears to many eyes, he assured them of his interest and welcome. Governors, senators, diplomats passed with merely a nod, but that pale young face he might never see again. To him, and to others like him, did the nation owe its life. Before this reception on the first day of 1864 finished, something unique occurred. For the first time since 1785, when George Washington began the custom of having these New Year's gatherings, when New York City was the nation's capital, blacks arrived as guests to be presented to the President. A California newspaper described them as being 4 colored men of genteel exterior and with the manners of gentlemen. Lincoln shook hands with each man, using his last name and calling him Mr. The moment had its significance, but it was equally significant that only 4 black men, evidently without their wives, were at an occasion attended by 8,000 people. 2. The reception ended at mid-afternoon of this bitterly cold day. Lincoln escaped the White House and walked to the 3-story brick building on the wooded White House grounds at the corner of 17th Street and Pennsylvania Avenue that housed a large part of the War Department. He walked in an odd way, moving the long legs of his lanky body in a full stride, covering the ground quickly. But he put the soles of his feet down so flat with each step that he seemed to be stamping along. Crossing the icy grass, a tall black top hat on his head and a gray plaid shawl flung across his shoulders, he was making one of his innumerable visits to the headquarters of the Union Army. A soldier there said that Lincoln would come over morning, afternoon, and evening to receive the latest news from the armies at the front. He seldom failed to come over late in the evening before retiring, and sometimes he would stay all night. The White House was not connected to the telegraph system. All of the presidential telegrams came in or went out of the building to which he was now headed. Lincoln did not have to go in person. Military messengers could have carried telegrams back and forth swiftly, but he preferred doing this. At the headquarters door, the blue-uniformed sentry raised his musket to present arms, and Lincoln returned the salute with a bow and a touch of his hat. He climbed the stairs to the second floor and hung his shawl over the top of a high screen door that separated Secretary of War Edwin M. Stanton's office from the office that handled the most important telegrams, those in code. Moving along one side of the room where young soldiers tapped out and received encoded messages at their marble-topped desks, Lincoln came to a chest against a wall. He opened the top drawer, into which these cipher clerks placed the messages they had decoded in order of receipt, each one in the form of a yellow tissue paper telegraphic dispatch. As one of the young operators described it, each time Lincoln entered, he would read over the telegrams, beginning at the top, until he came to the one he had seen at his last previous visit. Today, one of the most important of these indicated that Confederate Major General Jubal Early might have moved more than 6,000 men of his swift striking forces into an area of Virginia and West Virginia only